Hello, this is Charlie. We are now moving on to the page 1 in our album. Be this one here. And I've already got it laid out and designed. So I'm just going to kind of go through it with you briefly and then we'll put it together. So I'm going to get down in here into the meat of it. I always layer things and then have fun unlayering them. Okay, where are we at here? All right. So here in the center, we're going to have a couple of photo mats. There's one on each side using your scraps. Even the cardstock is from your scraps. Some of the cuts that were if you're using 12 by 12 sheets of cardstock, you're going to have big, wide, long scraps. So I'm trying to use those so that you don't have any waste on those items. And then these two front flaps are going to have some pockets, and then we're going to have a magnet closure. So getting down into the base, unwind this again. Your base is going to measure 7 5/8 across, and then it's going to measure 7 7/8 tall. We're going to have a pocket down at the bottom, and I've already taped that, have it ready to go. So I am going to go ahead and put it on. So if you want to cut your base, and then from your cardstock scraps, you're going to cut a piece that is 2.5 inches tall and by the width of your base. And then again from your scraps, which you should have, if you're using the same sheets I am, you should have some green. And so I opted to use it. There's a lot of it because it is from the 12 by 12 sheets, and I've cut to fit a piece that's going to go right in there. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this on. And again, I'm warning you, I've got problems with this tip. I have some that are supposed to arrive today. So I am watching carefully for it to pop off. I don't know why it's doing what it's doing, but it's a little annoying, to be honest. Okay, and then you have some little cards, little cutout cards, and I cut this one. This was what was left from a strip. This is from my collection of flowers. So I was going to try and just kind of snuggle this up in here like so. And then if you got the little baggie that came with it that had the little brass elements, I snipped off the round piece. It does take a snipper that's got some strength to it, and I am going to just glue that right there. So that's what I'm going to do now. So let's get this flower down. Now, if you don't have any in your stash, you can always fussy cut. There are plenty of sunflowers in this paper collection. You can fussy cut one or use a different element. There are a lot of them, especially if you got the 6 by 6 cutouts. Let's sneak that right up in here. And then I'm going to need to use glossy accents for this bumblebee. I'm just going to kind of lay him right in there. I'm hoping he's not too big, too tall. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so then I took from my scraps and I cut 2 photo mats for each side. They're not quite the same in dimension because I am using scraps from a 12 by 12 cut. But this one measures at 6 3/4 across with a 1/2 inch score line, and then it measures at 3 7/8. And then from my scraps, I found a couple of pieces so I had some matching, and I just simply cut to fit. So I'm gonna go ahead and attach, we'll see how that bumblebee stays on there. I'm going to go ahead and attach these. Get that in there nice and tight. And then I'm going to go ahead and attach this one. And this one on this side, it measured in at 6 3/4 as well, but it is 4 inches tall. Now I could have trimmed them down to match, but for 1/8 of an inch, I thought it wasn't worth it. If I just layer, I've got a fraction of an inch on each side. It shouldn't be a big deal. And that's my choice, folks. So, oops, my bumblebee did fall off. That is my choice to do that. I am just simply trying to make things easier. Now, on these, the yellow strips from the 12 by 12 collection, I place them on top, and from the 6 by 6 cutout pads, I did cut out 2 butterflies to put in the corners to kind of give it a little bit of motion and to take up all that yellow. But they will make great photo mats. There's that one. I'm going to bring it to me just a little bit so I can see what I'm doing. right, and then you'll see a lot of the repeat patterns because we're not playing with a lot of different paper choices here. I don't know if my bumblebee is going to stay on there. I may just have to take him off, which is what I think I'll do. But now I've got a blob of glossy accents. So I think what I'm going to do then is take it up, because I go to fold this, it's going to stick everywhere I can come out. What I want to do, since I've got glossy accents there, is come in when I'm done and I can leave this open, and I'll just glossy accent the top of that. Or maybe try to get the bee to stick a little bit. I like the bee. Try and get it to stick on there when I'm not flopping it around. Okay. Slip this one in over here. Okay. Now your left side is going to measure 6 3/8 by the height, which is 8 inches. Now what I cut for this is you have a piece that's in your 12 by 12 pack that has this image on it, and it is a little bit taller and slightly a bit wider. So I cut to fit this piece, so he'll go right in here. But I have a magnet I need to place, so what I'm going to do first is get this down and then lay the left side so that I can set the magnets. Push back against your score line to reinforce it. And then let's do this side. Coming up right up to that score line. Okay. All right, now I have my half of my magnet already set on this side. I'm going to pull my tape and make sure that the gussets here on the ends are standing up straight. They're not folded in. Give it a slide and it comes right off. Now I'm going to tape this one in. And again, this is out of your 12 by 12 pack. I'm going to put the tip on my glue real quick, so I'm struggling with keeping it open, so I'm going to cap it off here for just a bit until I need it again. Just a little bit down the center. If you'll excuse me for just a moment. I so apologize, but my allergies are just wretched this year. Okay, I'm going to line her up. All right, that is set. Now on the inside of your left and right panel, we'll be using this piece out of your 12 by 12 collection. And you're simply going to come in and you're going to cut to fit and then either glue or tape it in. And I am going to take just a smidgen off. So hang tight while I do this. Just a little bit. Okay. This is such a cute collection. Watching out for that 1/2 inch score line right there on that side. And then we're going to make ourselves a pocket 2.5 inches by the width of your flap here. And then if you're using 1/4 inch score tape, you end up with essentially a 2 1/4 inch pocket. If you want it to be more shallow than that, just cut it to whatever height you want it to be. This came from my scraps Goes this way. It's the back side of this yellow paper, as you can see. Trying to utilize some of the imagery that's on this. And then from your 6x6 cut-aparts, I did cut out this cute little dog, and I'm just going to sit him right down here. He's so adorable. Okay. Now over here, this is the panel that's going to go here to match. But this one I am going to tape in. I don't know why I did that, because now I gotta snip off that end, but oh well. Line it up here. I'm going to let it set carefully, make sure that I'm not on top of that score mark. Oh, that kind of hurt my teeth a little bit. All right, and then the pocket for here is still at 2.5 by the width. I might have to trim this a little bit. Just a minor trim, but I don't want it hanging out, and I don't want it encroaching on just that much on my score marks here. Well, there we go. All right, so lining it up and then across the bottom and then to the corner. And then this is from my scrap. Has a lot of movement in it. I just really like it. It's a big piece of sunflower that's in the 12 by 12 collection. Okay, put that in there, layer down. And then from your 6 by 6, I cut this piece out and it's gonna just sit right in here. Just go around the wheel. I don't need to do any more than that. Okay. And now we're going to, this is out of your your 8 by 8 pad. And it's just a little strip. In fact, this is the other half. So I cut this off and then I cut this to fit. And I think I forgot to give you the measurement for this side. I apologize. So this side measures in at 5 5/8 by the height of your page. So it's like the kitty cat is underneath the window, and through the window you can see the puppy dog holding the sunflower. I like to try and create a story a little bit. Let's double check, make sure we didn't miss anything. Oh, I just saw something. Okay, so we have our 2 photo mats. We have our big pocket. We have our small pockets on this side. Lots of opportunity if you want for journaling or a nice size photo. Okay, and now we're going to cover the back with tape and we're going to get it put in the album. Oh, I just ran out. All right, let me see if I've got another roll of the same size tape. No, I'm gonna have to, I'll finish off in 1/2 inch. I like to use 5/8 on the perimeter. It just gives more substance to the hold. And then I'm going to use 3/8 down the center. put it inside our album. Now I think you'll notice that when I gave you the measurements for the base, I had you cut it short going from left to right. That is because we've got a little bit of a buildup here and we want to make sure that we've got room to turn the page, and I always make accommodations for that when I am making an album. So I had you leave a 3/8 of an inch gap, and then when this 1/8 inch, you've got about a 1/4 inch sitting here, and then when this page turns over, it's got room here to absorb this without getting into the center of this gusset. Now I know everyone has a different hinge system. Use whatever your preference is. This is my style and I am the most comfortable with it. There's no wrong or right. I need to turn it this way so I can see what I'm doing here. Because at the end of the day, we're all going to get to the same place. And I don't know how many of you use the hidden hinge. I don't know if it can accommodate, can it? Can it accommodate 1/8 inch and 1/4 inch buildups in the signature? I think you would have, for it to do that, you would have to make allowances for one of your measurements when you're building the hinge. I honestly don't know because I don't use that system. With the odd size albums I make, it is a chore to anticipate and remember all the different measurements and the cuts. So this ends up being the best for me, what I'm doing here. Okay, your photo albums, your pocket page, and that is your signature for page 1. We'll see you on the next video.